Hey yo, what is going on, viewers of the tube? If it's your first time here, I'm your host Tyler. And on the second day of crypto, Chico gave to me 2 private dash and a ledger with some BTC. Yes, if you can spot the Christmas riddle in this episode and you're a subscriber and you comment with the answer first, you will win 2 Dash tokens or the same value in any crypto you want. Now, doesn't that make you want to jump with joy? You know our buddy the elf, it's time for Chico Crypto. So as Bitcoin starts to crumble down to the low 6K levels, I think most of you get the feeling that it isn't going to be a Merry Christmas or Happy New Year for Bitcoin. Like predicted, on Monday, the 7K support was broken, and it has officially turned into resistance, as that level was tested once, but got rejected. As of shooting this video, Bitcoin broke through the 6.8K support, 6.7K support, and tested 6.6K support, bouncing off of it strongly. Well, this is called the US Bitcoin miner purge, my friends, that we predicted was coming. Just pulling out the Bitcoin hash rate chart over the past 180 days since June of this year, hash rate explosion, going from 50 million terahashes to 105 million. And what is so spectacular about this growth was during the entire time, Bitcoin's price was going down, not up, down from 14K. And here's something I would like to pull out. The same thing actually happened after the late 2017 bubble. Bitcoin hit 20K and the price deflated down all the way to the 6K levels, and the hash rate just kept going up, even though we were in a bear market. The only time the hash rate dipped began on September of 2018. I wonder what happened to the Bitcoin price then. The dip down to the 3K levels, where some Chinese miners became unprofitable. Thus, you can see the ultimate bottom for BTC. It's 3K, and if that happens again, we will once again see the current hash rate collapse. And that is why you see the sideways movements right now in the hash rate. We have US mining farms dropping out because they break even or lose money at the 6K level, while Chinese miners still have a high ROI. Drop in the hash, relevant non-Chinese region dropping out. Spike in the hash, more Chinese miners coming online. China is looking to dominate BTC. It's their ally in the fight against the USD, and that is why the mining industry will be supported and short-term dominated by the Chinese. I mean, right after Xi Jinping's public support announcement for blockchain, they removed Bitcoin and crypto mining from the country's unwanted industries list. So this leads me into my next topic for today. I'm sure there are some Bitcoin cashers or BSVers who are like, why in the hell would you still support Bitcoin when it's dominated by China? And to top it off, why would you support it when you made a video showing the corruption with Bitcoin and Blockstream? Well, I'll tell you why right now. And let's begin with mining dominance. So we can pull out Bitcoin's mining pool breakdown and see the different pools. But research just came out that shows 65% of Bitcoin mining is coming from China, which we called spot on. There is no official research or data on Bitcoin Cash or BSV, but we can estimate based on the information available to the public. Let's begin with the chain, which has the next highest hash rate, Bitcoin Cash barely squeaking by BSV. So let's see the miner breakdown. Right away, you see something which is not okay. 42.6% of the hash power is coming from unknown sources, aka other mining pools, meaning they are deliberately trying to hide who it is. If we check out Bitcoins, the other is only 8%. Then going to mining pool stats, which gives even more detailed breakdowns, we can see they put no warning at the top under hash rate for Bitcoin. No warning under Ethereum's either. But if you go to Bitcoin Cashes, it has a warning. Over 42% of the hash power is coming from unknown sources. This is not common, especially for larger coins. Another example, Monero, no warning. But let's go back to the mining breakdown. So Poolin has most of the known hash power for Bitcoin Cash, which is a worldwide accessible pool, but it's ran from China, so you can put a Chinese flag by it. Next, Ant Pool, Chinese. After that, BTC.com, which is also worldwide accessible, but guess who owns it? Bitmain, so Chinese flag next to it. Then via BTC, which is Hong Kong, Chinese. Finally, an American, Bitcoin.com, but it only has 6% of the known hash power, or 3% of the total. then China, 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 and more China. You get the idea that Bitcoin Cash mining is just as dominated by the Chinese as Bitcoin. How about Bitcoin SV? Well, according to CoinDance's breakdown, only 20% of the hash power is coming from unknown sources, which is better than BCash. But let's see where each pool is coming from. CoinGeek is providing the most with over 22%. CoinGeek is Calvin Ayre, major Bitcoin SV proponent and friend of Craig Wright. Next is Via BTC, which we know is Hong Kong, aka China, with nearly 22%. After this, Mempool with 11.7%. I wonder where they are from. Website, Chinese. And then the Mempool Twitter just posted this, with Craig, welcome to China. So yeah, Mempool is definitely Chinese. Next, SV Pool with nearly 8%. Going to their website, an initiative of Dr. Craig S. Wright. So the two founders of Bitcoin SV, Craig and Calvin, their pools control 30% of Bitcoin SV hash power. But it gets worse. InChain is the next one with just over 6%. Frickin' Craig owns InChain. So that number now jumps to 36%. Next is ProHashing, which is an American pool, not owned by Craig or Calvin, so that is good, but it only has 2.5%. Now CoinDance for some reason does not include F2 pool into its calculations, and that goes into the unknown category on CoinDance. But if we go to mining pool stats, we can see F2 controls over 30% of the known hash power on their site. So we can estimate this to be about 12% of unknown on CoinDance, and F2 is definitely China. The rest of the pools are majority China as well. Poolin, OKX, BTC.com, which is just over 8%. Thus, Craig and his friends control 36% of the hash power, while China controls over 53% based on locations. It's the exact same thing for each. China will control close to equal amounts of each coin's hash power no matter what, because they use the same damn hashing algorithm, SHA-256. Until a new algo is created and used by one of these coins, the control will be the same. That argument of China is null and void. So since we are talking about the miners, we might as well talk about the hash rate. With a proof of work coin, the higher the hash rate, the more secure it is against attacks. That is plain and simple, no argument against that. And checking out CoinDance, you can see which coin is the most secure based on hash rate alone. Bitcoin controls 95.6% of the SHA-256 hash rate, then Bitcoin Cash with 3%, and then Bitcoin SV with 1.5%. Nodes is another measure we should look at, because for a healthy network, you don't only need miners processing the transactions into blocks, but you need nodes to broadcast messages across that network. Full nodes that contain every single transaction that has happened on that selected blockchain. You need them. Why? Because if a transaction or block message is broadcasted and it violates the consensus rules, it is absolutely rejected by the full nodes. They do what's right for the network no matter what. As we can see, Bitcoin has 83.1% of the network nodes. Bitcoin Cash has 13.1%, and Bitcoin SV has 3.9%. So Bitcoin with 95.6% control of the SHA-256 hash rate and 83.1% of the full nodes, it means yes, Bitcoin is the most secure. Next is Bitcoin Cash, and finally Bitcoin SV. And this goes to why you see Bitcoin being used much more for the larger transactions, where multi-millions to multi-billions is being entrusted to the network. Just yesterday, block 608,532 transferred 549,590 BTC. That is over $3.5 billion. That is not possible on Bitcoin Cash or Bitcoin SV. For one, no person would entrust that much money on a SHA-256 blockchain with the low hashing powers like BCash or SV, especially with miners from Bitcoin side who can perform attacks in an instant. And their market caps aren't even that high. BCash over 3.25 billion and SV only 1.5 billion. They couldn't transfer 3.5 billion even if they wanted to. Now the final thing I would like to circle back to is control. Bitcoin SV has a face, Craig Wright. Bitcoin Cash has a face, Roger Ver. If you don't think these leaders influence the core development of these protocols, you'd be crazy.
I'm crazy. I'm the local one.
And Roger and Craig are much more alike than you think. Craig, Roger, and Calvin having a toast together when they were friends and plotting the death of BTC and altcoins. And when they get upset, they flip the bird. Now I know about Blockstream and their attack on Bitcoin Core. I have researched it on more than a few occasions. Last time 4 months ago when I was just starting this beard and still in sunny Miami. Here's what we found back then. So the official data was compiled and it was found out that Chaincode Labs is contributing the most to the Bitcoin code, just over 26%. Then MIT DCI with just over 18%. Next, unaffiliated at 13.2%, then Blockstream at 8.5%, and finally others at just over 34%. So no, Bitcoin isn't fully controlled, and the distribution of development, I can guarantee you, is less centralized than either Bitcoin Cash or Bitcoin SV. Although, maybe I'm not seeing something. But when the miners and markets react and either Bitcoin Cash or BSV obtains more hashing power than BTC, that is when I will call it the one true BTC. Until then, sorry, Bitcoin is king. Cheers. I'll see you next time.